What is up, guys? The Strong Boys 19 here. This is going to be a short video to celebrate a very, very important album. A very important album when it comes to the fanatics like myself of metal music. This is the date. Today is the 50th anniversary of the self-titled Black Sabbath debut album, released 50 years ago. This was the beginning of the origin and the birth and the creativity of a big genre that was controversial to become one of the most popularized, influential, and worldwide successful music ever, that is heavy metal. And I decided to take out my original pressing of this album, and I decided to play this all the way through. It still shows and shines perfectly. This is when Black Sabbath were starting to really grow as a band, and I know, as I said, it's their first, but they were at a beginning peak of going into a new original sound, and this record is a perfect presentation of this kind of music. Anyway, you get to hear the title track, Black Sabbath, which is known as like the earliest example of the doom metal genre, and to some later tracks that were more bluesy inspired, and the darkness on some of these songs had been developing over time, and obviously not being like the darkest of Black Sabbath's albums, but this is still a great, near perfect album to showcase everyone around us on this planet what a new genre was going to present to us. And, it's still incredible. It's still amazing to think that this iconic record is proof that Black Sabbath's first record is known as the defining beginning of heavy metal music. Though not being, for me, the classic and not one of my favorite albums of all time, that's just my opinion, but I would still highly celebrate this as one of the best Black Sabbath albums. You got the raunchy, aggressive, and noisy distortion to the pummeling, maddening sound of the drums that was tight right from the start, to the bass that is really big from the playing, and the atmosphere on most of these tracks is still dark to this day. A lot of rhythmic stuff on these songs, and more importantly, this is when the sound became really divided, but then regarded for many as such a significant piece of art. Happy 50th anniversary to heavy metal, all because of this album, Black Sabbath's debut album that is half of a century old. And of course, I would mention other albums I would say that are like one of the very earliest examples of heavy metal. I would say Blue Cheer's Outside Inside and their first album. But when it comes to a band that is defining and growing a sound that nobody else had done before in a heavier mark of territory, it's Black Sabbath. Let me know what you really think of heavy metal music now being half a century old in the comments below. I had a brilliant time revisiting this album, as with metal music being one of my favorite high, most listens to genres in my experience of a music fanatic. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll keep you guys posted for more videos in the near future.